back. The things that were happening were so, I forgot myself. I was struggling to be happy. Like every day I'm sad, I'm crying. And it's not like that thing that you go through and then now you're away from it and now you're healing. It's, you get your dose of sadness and unhappiness every day. Because whatever is happening, whatever you're doing, he's there to do it every day. So it was really the worst time of my life. Literally, the girl I was, independent and hardworking and ambitious, I even forgot what the fuck do I want in life. Because I feel like I can't even listen to my own voice. I don't trust myself. I don't trust my own voice. I don't trust my feelings. I remember I used to call my sister, and if she doesn't pick up, I felt like my world was falling apart because she was the only one keeping me sane. I remember I would just call her and say, he did this and this and this and this. And then she'd be so angry. And, oh my God, it was so sad. I'm going to just cry. But I can't go into the details of what was happening. But it was a lot of emotional abuse, you know, a lot of violating of boundaries and disrespecting someone's feelings and making someone think they're crazy and that their voice doesn't matter, you know, and even me working now is a problem for him. I remember he used to say, you think your life was better in Kenya, your life is good now. Sometimes I ask my sister, does this guy know who he is dealing with? Do you know me? Like, I'm not a president or anyone, but
you had your life together back here.
I had my life together and I did that all by myself. I didn't need no man. I didn't need to be abroad for that. Just my brain and my work. You telling me that I'm nothing really, really did disrupt the person I am. And it's not really what you say, it's how often it's done to you. Then now your subconscious just starts changing and now you don't know who you are anymore. And I remember I usually say that I went there as a full person. I left there a shell of myself, just somebody existing. There's a friend I tell that I felt like I was just a walking corpse. You have.
Now, there's always been this hype amongst black ladies who feel that they're so much pretty and only deserve the white men. Now, today I met these videos of black ladies making confessions. In fact, some of them were crying because the life or the experience they've had with the white men is not as per their expectation. And this is so saddening because these are women who thought that racism has ended and the white man now feels that blacks are so much important. But let us watch these videos and we will judge them by the end of the video.
My white guy dumped me after taking me to the US. Listen to this story, ladies. Hi, Jano. Thank you so much for the good job that you are doing of educating and enlightening our girls on matters interracial and also other aspects of life. God bless you and go on with a good job. Jano, this is my story. I met this white guy on a dating site. Afro Introduction. We were talking on that site for almost a week and later exchanged our contact. That was the beginning of 2018. So we exchanged contact and we moved to the WhatsApp. Jano, this guy was good. He used to provide for me and pay my bills. He would also extend the help to my siblings. He would pay the school fees to my siblings and also provide for my parent. At that time, I was open to him and I told him everything about my family, our issues, my parent, and he would come through for me every other time. My parent loved him because he was providing and he was a good man. Jano, there is something that I saw as a red flag, but I assumed. This guy seemed to be very controlling and insecure. He would ask me to take a photo anytime I was going out and send them to confirm whether I was decently dressed. I would send them for them to confirm whether I was supposed to go that way or not. I felt it was controlling, but because I loved him and he was providing to me, I felt as if it was love. At some time, he would call me late night at 3 a.m., at 4 a.m. to confirm that I was alone. He would ask me to zoom the phone and check the room. I felt as if that was too much love, something that I came to learn later. So after like 6 months of talking, this guy confirmed that he was in love with me and he was serious about our relationship. He told me that he was set to come to Kenya in that December, and the main aim of coming was to meet my parents for introduction and pay for my dowry price. That was okay with me because my parents knew about him. I had told them. So in December, through to it, he came. And this guy, when he came to my home. Everybody loved him. He helped even in renovating my parents' house and sorted a lot of things. So after that, he paid the dowry price and bought my parents gifts, and they were so much okay and happy. After that, we proceeded to the IG wedding because it was supposed to be the next week on Friday. So we continued with the IG wedding, which happened, and we got the certificate. We stayed with him in Kenya for another month, and then it was set now to go back and we start the process of getting a visa. We start the process of getting a visiting visa for me. So we started the processes, and in 2019, I was able to get a
5 things you should know before you start dating white men. Number 1, if you guys are done having dinner and you ask him to put the leftovers away in the fridge, they're going to put the pot in the fridge. They do not believe in Tupperware. They're going to put the whole pot with pasta, whatever it is, in that fridge. And then you're going to open your fridge and see a full pot. Can you handle that? Number 2, they rob us of our sayings. I turn around and he's saying, "Oh, what do I look like, Boo Boo the Fool?" What do you know about Boo Boo the Fool? Number 3, suddenly he thinks he needs a bonnet. Why are you wearing my bonnet? Take my bonnet off. You do not need a bonnet. Number 4, they do not believe in lotion. I beg this man, please, please, for the love of God, moisturize your knees and your elbows. You do get ashy. Number 5, they will have you listening to country music. You're going to start it and you're going to love it.
Dennis Simba tweeted about finding out that her best friend since she was 14 was having an affair with her husband. And we were all shook. Because we knew we knew that they were going through a divorce. She's been very open about that. But we didn't know how deep it was. Like, I remember reading an article about her saying that she was financially abused by her husband when she moved to Germany. And I was like, I'm not shook. I have dated a German, and I know how Germans operate when it comes to money. Okay, so that part was not shocking to me. The part about, like, financial abuse, I was just like, yeah, you dated a German guy who's probably never lived much outside of Germany, so they probably are very German. But what was funny about it is, like, reading tweets about people referencing white men playing black women, because they were like, yo, these white dudes are playing our sisters, and they made references to Linda Mdawa, whose husband had cheated on her, Sonia Booth, whose husband had cheated on her, Zagi Isi, but we don't really know. I don't really know what happened in that marriage, why it ended up ending. But I'm like, why does it matter what race these people are? Because the problem starts when we start to romanticize and idealize mixed relationships, and we think this is where all the heaven is. Let me tell you, as a person whose long-term relationships have been with both white men and black men, man will man. A man will cheat on you regardless of whether they're black or white. A man will lie on you regardless of whether they're black or white. A man will promise you the world and then deliver nothing regardless of whether they're black or white. I have dated black men that have been amazing, like treated me so great. But I tend to gallivant a lot, and so my relationships tend to not work out with black men because they like want to capture me, and I'm like, no, I'm for like the world and whatnot. I've also dated white men where I wanted to be captured by this particular white guy, and I was just like, I could see myself, being captured by you. And he was like, I don't want kids. I don't want to get married. And we dated for 3 years. So that was a really long time. Point being, it doesn't matter. If anything, I feel like you are most likely to meet a white guy, in South Africa at least, a white guy who doesn't want kids and marriage, than to meet a black guy who doesn't want kids or marriage. I'm not saying there aren't any, I'm just saying there are very few of them. And my whole point with this video is like, when you're dating somebody, yes, culture plays a role in how they are going to likely do things and behave and respond to things. But at the end of the day, you are dating an individual. You are not dating white people. You are dating a person who happens to be white. So if they happen to not live up to whatever stereotypical views you have of white people in your head, just know it's not like a white people thing. It's just a damn thing. You know, when a guy cheats on me, I'm not like, oh, black guys cheat. No, I'm just like, see, Paul cheated on me, or William cheated on me, because I've been cheated on by a black guy, I've been cheated on by a white guy. It really doesn't matter what race they from. I'd say, like, for me, now that I'm older, I'm finding it much more easier, or at least since like the 30th of December, I found it a lot more easier to date South African men. Because I'm like, I know a lot more about your cultural background than I do a guy who's from East Europe or something like that. And one thing I do appreciate about South African guy, I digress, is how straightforward they are. You know, it's been so refreshing to go out with somebody who's like, I want a relationship and I want you. Rather than someone where you just go on forever and you're just like, what are we? Anyways, I digress. Point being, men will men. That was the whole point of this video.
This is the issue our ladies are going through, and I'm sure some of them will come and speak up. I had no money, I had, nothing, and people are saying, oh, aliolewa na mzungu, oh, she's a bibi ya mzungu. Early I started gaining weight, a little bit of weight, and he definitely didn't like that. We're now having issues, and I remember my grandmother telling me once she found out that I was in the hospital, he's never come here. Every time we come and visit you, he doesn't want us there. You have no friends, you have nothing. I don't know what you're doing there. You're not working, you're not making any money. I don't know what you're doing there. So that is the moment I decided I was going to leave. It didn't happen immediately because of the issue of what will people say, where will I go. I asked him, I said, can I use that suitcase to take my belongings? He said, yeah, of course. Because I have nothing there, Lynn. This is the issue. You live in a house that has everything. You live in the house that has everything, but you have nothing. You have nothing in that house. Oh. Even the clothes that you're wearing. Remember I told you, Lynn, whoever signs the check keeps you in check. So they are in charge of how you dress. As I said, how you do your makeup, everything. They are in charge. So even your clothes are not your own. And I feel like people who are in such relationships, especially when it comes to interracial relationships, they suffer in those relationships because of what will people say and where will I go.
I can always tell when a black girl dates white guys. I'm always right 99.9% of the time. I don't know if it's because I'm very open to dating whoever, so I can kind of get the vibes, but I'm always right. When black creators that I absolutely love pop out with their new man and their new man is like a white guy, I can always peep that from a mile away. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't know if it's like the hair behind the ears, like having the indie style, the luxe black girl style. There will be those few moments where I'm genuinely shocked by the outcome of who they're dating. But for the most part, I'm always right. Like I'm always right down to a T. Maybe it's the creators that I follow, but I don't know.
Whenever a white boy tries to talk to me, the first thing I ask them is, does your family know that you like black girls? The question, it was never, do you like black girls, okay? You talking to me right now. Does your family know? Because I'm not trying to be, some little canon event in your family's life. I'm not trying to be that. I'm not trying to be the first any motherfucking thing. I'm not trying to pave the way. No. Okay? We have other first people. I'm not trying to do all that. So, yeah. No.
mia ena me WhatsApp video nim. Broni amene ne ware no me call ye no onye papa. Drugs now no anytime bia na ase or abuse me. No china ko o kind of the woman in the name of you na me ko mu falasa. No bia me TikTok dada. Oh me so live. Me wan say wa kemu oba. Hey. Na say na hatie. Some share videos say chego on TikTok. Abrofo for wale omo a enye easy. All because of situations. It's sister. Only brony be netse. Unim no. Be careful because e be a net to a. E be crowd dem me fame no e be e wo kwa untimi stand you. Amo betia ne sa afra.
5 years later, I'm still haunted by the words he said when he left me. 5 years ago, I ruined everything. I was engaged to the kindest, most loving man I'd ever known. He was the kind of person who made everyone around him feel cared for, safe and loved. We were planning our wedding. I thought we were going to spend the rest of our lives together. And then I made the dumbest mistake of my life. I kissed someone else. It was meaningless and I regretted it the moment it happened. The guilt was unbearable. I told him the next day because I couldn't keep it from him. I begged for forgiveness, promised I'd do anything to fix it. But he just looked at me like I'd shattered something deep inside him. He didn't yell. He didn't cry. He just said, "It's over," and walked out.
Wow.
I tried to reach him for weeks. He ignored every call and text. Eventually, I wrote him a long letter apologizing and asking him for one chance to talk. When he finally agreed to meet, I thought maybe, just maybe, we could work through it. We talked about our memories, the good times, the love we shared, all the dreams we had for the future. For a moment, it almost felt like old times. And then I asked him if he could ever forgive me. What he said next has been burned into my brain ever since. I hear it every single day, word for word, and it plays in my mind like a broken record. I hope someone comes into your life who makes you feel loved and safe just to betray you. I hope you spend every day wondering if the people you trust are lying to you. I hope you never feel secure in love again. I hope even when things seem perfect, there's a part of you that can't shake the doubt. I hope every "I love you" you hear makes you wonder if they really mean it. And when it all falls apart, when it breaks you, I hope you remember that this is what you gave me. He didn't say it to be cruel.
Whoa.
He wasn't a cruel man. He was the kindest, most selfless person I'd ever known. That's what makes it hurt so much. He said it because it was the truth, because that's what I did to him. He got up and left, but his words stayed. They live in my head, echoing constantly. Every night when I try to fall asleep, I hear them again. Every time I feel even a little happy, they come back to remind me that I don't deserve it. I've tried to move on, but I can't. I can't love anyone without doubting them. I can't trust anyone without waiting for the betrayal. Every relationship I've had since has fallen apart because of that fear, that voice in the back of my head telling me it's all going to happen again. I know I did this to myself. I know I might even deserve this, but living with it seems unbearable some days. I still know where he lives. He didn't move out of the apartment we used to share. He still works at the same company he did back then. I've kept track of him through mutual friends, though I've never asked him to relay anything back to him. I've watched from a distance as his life went on without me. And now after all of these years, I'm thinking about going to him one more time to ask for forgiveness, to try and explain myself again, to tell him I've carried the weight of what I did every single day since he walked out. I don't even know what I'm hoping for. Maybe I just want to hear him say he's moved on, that he's happy, or that I can let go of the small selfish part of me that wonders if he ever thinks about us. Or maybe I'm hoping he'll say he can forgive me, even if it changes nothing. I know I shouldn't. He deserves peace. I know my showing up will only dredge up old wounds, but I don't know how to let go of his words or the fact that I destroyed the only person who ever truly loved me. And then the top comment says, the kindest thing you can do is never to speak to him again.
Agreed. Move on.
Try and move on. Get therapy, girl.
Yeah.
You're going to need it. Because those words were harsh, though. Ooh. I was
how shocked I was? I know.
I was
my
yes.
mouth was open
But you know
for
what?
a minute.
Do you know what? That is what cheating does.
So to these white women, they felt that by getting a white man, their lives would have changed. I remember when I was in my second year university, my close friend, who we were doing with him the same course, that is journalism, she told me that Me, I will never be married by a black guy, because he thought that black guys are less superior or don't have money, something like that. So when we got to third year, this lady was married in Germany. He got a German. In fact, he was so rich that this lady was so much became boasters. She started boasting to us how she is lucky, her life is going to change. Unfortunately, after 3 years, we call them in Kenya mzungus. We call the white men mzungu. The mzungu disappeared and left the lady, literally disappeared, and she has never traced this guy up to this point. The lady was depressed, her life changed, everything about her changed, did not want to talk to anyone. And when she made her confessions, it was so heartbreaking. And these are some of the videos that shows how there's no hype in going to these people. Make love where you feel valued, where you see your worth, and where you know that you are accepted and your life is going to move to another level. At least you get someone who you can grow with, rather than trying to fix yourself in something that you are not, or they feel you're not worthy about. Because these whites, let me tell you the truth, we have never gotten a liberation from the racial segregations. It is still within us, and these whites still feel that we're not worthy human beings. I brought a video some other day when a Chinese called Africans monkeys, because they didn't see if Africans are also worthy in their eyes. And it's so disheartening to hear such terms. And we are in a century, we are in we're getting into a next century, 22nd century, where things are now changing. Globalization is here with us, and we can never go wrong with it. And everyone understands, you can understand every culture through AI. Now AI is also within us. I saw it the other day, it was launched on WhatsApp. And things are going to change. We will express our feelings as black men to the white people. We will tell them that we are also humans. Like I always say it, blacks are humans. We have to tell them that we are also humans. If you marry our women, you have to treat them equally, like the white counterparts. Don't put them as housewives or people who are meant to work in the fields. Exploitation has to end. And that is the message we always bring across, because we have to live together. We are one human race. That is the fact that we've never fathomed, or the white man has never accepted. All these human races are equal, and they have to be treated equally. Now, I want you to share your thoughts on this, because that is how we learn, and that is how we get the message a long way and across borders. Comment on this and tell us what you feel about it. Should black women continue marrying the white guys, even amidst the frustrations they undergo? Help me spread this message also by sharing and liking. And if you're watching us for the first time, don't forget to make a subscription. Thank you, and may God bless you.